What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to my video. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about Clover Health. I'm going to be going over the Clover Health report. So they went ahead and released the reports and they released the numbers for their earnings. And then I'm going to go ahead and go over my sentiment and what I felt in regards to the conference call, which I did attend the whole conference call. And as you can see, the stock took the conference call in a negative way, and I could explain to you guys what happened. So when the numbers came out, the stock price literally went up about 8%, and then since then, when the conference call started, it went down about 8.5%. So before we do get started, if you could please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll also be talking to you guys about the stock prediction and what I feel like is going to happen in the short term, midterm, and long term with proof or explanation. So Clover Health went ahead and released the numbers. They went ahead and announced that they grew their revenue by 46% year over year, and that's $673 million that they made in revenue in 2020. So the numbers were actually really good. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys. So in 2019, they made $462 million in revenue, and they went ahead and got $672 million in 2020. Now, that is a 45.6% increase from year over year. In terms of their memberships, they announced that they had 58,056 members as of December 31st, which is a 36.3% increase. Now, this was the number that everyone was looking at in regards to the earnings. The numbers of members was the most important part. And they actually went ahead and even mentioned that as of February 2021, they went ahead and grew to 66,000 members. So they literally grew 8,000 members in 2 months, in literally January and February. So that's a really good and surprising number. And I think that's what kind of caused the stock to go up once those numbers were released. Now, here is where they go ahead and mention their net loss. They mentioned that they lost 91.6 million versus last year they lost 363 million. So they're on their road to profitability, but they're still a couple years out. And I think some people got surprised by that, even though this was mentioned from the very start before they even merged and Clover became a public company. So let me go ahead. So this is where things start to go downward. So in the conference call, they mentioned that their expected range of members was 68 to 70,000 members by the end of December 31st, 2021, which is a 17 to 21% growth. Now, what doesn't make sense is they literally went ahead and announced that they had 66,000 members as of February. So you're telling me by the end of the year, they're only going to get 2,000 to 4,000 members? That didn't really look good. And when they were asked about it, they were kind of mentioning how COVID affected their business. Their business model was in regards to direct in-person sales, and they couldn't have as much of that because of COVID, as well as going through brokers. A lot of people weren't going through brokers. They're basically, what they're trying to do is making sure that they're the cheapest insurance so that people could go ahead and purchase their insurance through brokers, but the brokers weren't getting as much business as well due to COVID. So every time they were mentioning anything, they were just blaming COVID, and that didn't really look too good in regards to future numbers. So that kind of brought down the stock price. Now I'm gonna go ahead and pretty much summarize the conference call. Like, the numbers were really good on paper, as I mentioned, but the call was pretty boring. Nothing really too good that they mentioned. The questions that they were answering weren't really straightforward. They weren't giving the information that people wanted to hear. And I feel like this could be a genius plan on their part. Or I don't know what it could be, but how I'm looking at it is basically everyone knows there's a lawsuit. Everyone knows that Hindenburg went ahead and filed a report, a bearish report saying the company wasn't good. and had a whole bunch of accusations, which Clover went ahead and responded to each and every single one of their points. And then Chamath went ahead and mentioned how all they had to do was just contact him or contact the company, and they could have went ahead and answered all their questions for them. So right now there's a whole lawsuit going on, and they originally wanted to go ahead and release their information in regards to who their partners was, etc., and they literally put everything at pause because of this report, and went ahead and actually said they're not going to be announcing anything and they're going to be delaying the announcements. So from my perspective, how I'm looking at it is they're waiting until April. So April 6th is when all the lead plaintiffs, so all the people that were affected by Clover Health that want to go ahead and file a lawsuit, they could go ahead and file that. They'll have until April 6th to step up, and it'll take a couple months for this lawsuit to go to trial, possibly a little bit longer than that. So I feel like they put all their announcements, all their PR, all that PR that they wanted to do, they put that all on pause, let the stock take a hit. And what they're going to go ahead and do, I personally, what I feel like they're going to go ahead and do is just go ahead and announce everything all at once, like in a week or 2 weeks. Just go ahead and announce back to back informations, or maybe in a span of a month once this all unfolds, and then the stock will just go ahead and take over. So that's how I feel like that's going to happen. And if you guys haven't watched my video, I did make a video on their partnerships with Walgreens and their partnership with CVS, and they had a couple other partnerships, and I showed proof of the partnerships, and that they were going to announce it. I have proof in the video. The video is going to be linked in the description down below, if you guys want to go ahead and check that out. So this is what I feel like is going to happen in terms of the positive side of things. Now, in terms of the short term, you guys got to look at it in terms of the order book. So the order book shows you how many people are selling and at what, how many shares are being sold and at what price, and how many shares are being bought at what price. So as you can see, there's a pretty large sell wall. So there's a lot of people selling at 10.25, 10.97, especially at 11.30, 11.39, and 11.50. So I feel like Clover Health is going to be one of those stocks where if something good happens, people are just going to be going ahead and cashing out because there's too much retail investors, or there's too much people bag holding that kind of just want to get rid of the stock and get it out of their portfolio. And what's going to happen is they're going to sell and then wait until the stock starts climbing back up, and they're going to go ahead and jump in. So that's pretty much it in terms of why I feel like the stock will go down in the short term. And as you could see, when the numbers were released, everyone just started selling at 11.20, and the stock just went down. People started buying and people started selling again. And then once the conference call started, the stock went down basically based on the calls, which is understandable. So I feel like that's going to cause the stock to not go up as much. Now, in terms of the positive side of things, well, this is the average cost on Webull, what most people purchase the stocks at, which is $12.44. But the positive side of things is the analyst price targets. Low end is 16, high end is 19, the average is 17.50. So you're still a 60 to 90% return that you could get on your investment if you purchase the stock at this price and it does hit these price targets. Pretty much what you guys got to understand as well is that Chamath went ahead and purchased this stock with his own money. He does have a lot of money invested into it, so it is in his benefit for the stock to go up. And for those of you guys that keep bashing him on Twitter, etc., what I guys want to mention to you guys is IPOA did the same thing. So that's Space right now. As you could, if you could search it up right now, Space struggled at the start, and now it's a $40 stock. It was a $62 stock at the beginning. But as you can see, like, it literally did struggle at the beginning, just like Clover Health. Maybe not as bad. Yeah, maybe not as bad, but look, yeah, it even went to $7 at one point, and then it just started taking off. And then if you look at IPOB, sorry, which is right now Open Door. So look at Open Door. Open Door struggled at the start, but it wasn't as bad. It just wasn't moving for a little bit of time, and then it just started taking off. It had some dips, but Open Door wasn't as bad as Space. But you guys just got to be patient. The way Chamath is looking at it is he's looking at it a very longer term. If this is in your long-term portfolio, Clover Health, then you should be okay. You should be actually really good. But if you're holding too much of it, then maybe you might want to start scaling out a little bit so you don't have some dead money until you wait until the lawsuit does kind of finish, and probably that's when I'll dump in more money into it. But that's pretty much it for the earnings report and how I view the stock. If you guys like the video, please like and subscribe. If you have any comments or questions, please leave it down in the comments below.